I've been creating content in my free time for almost 2 years, and I'm not perfect. I'm 25 years old, and every time I open social media, it feels like everyone's racing towards something. I made my first million in my 20s. I bought my dream supercar. I invested in this stock, or I bought my second house. Sometimes it just feels like you're already behind before your life even really started. Like, if you don't somehow become successful overnight, you failed. And I think that pressure gets to everybody because people always live for the what ifs. What if my video blows up and I make it one day? What if I become rich and can build my dream life? Or what if I never make it at all? Everybody has their own reasons. Some people want money, others want status, but at the end of the day, everyone wants freedom. But all of this shit takes time. One day you're telling yourself, I'll start tomorrow. Then suddenly, weeks, months, or maybe years pass by, and you're still standing in the same place talking about the same dreams that you never started. That scares me more than failing ever will, because I don't want to wake up 20 years from now realizing I spent my whole life building someone else's dream instead of my own. Eventually, there comes a point where you need to decide, like, are you going to do something about it? For us, it was this: creating, filming, building cars, building a lifestyle, building something that we actually look forward to every day. Something we'll always be proud of and will genuinely enjoy looking back on and watching one day. Yeah, we like to shoot cinematic videos, but we aren't just trying to be another filming brand. Regardless of the equipment we use, our goal is to capture the memories of the hard work that goes into your achievements. I'm just a 25-year-old guy living in Los Angeles. Actually, it's more specifically Orange County, but for the sake of this video, let's just say LA. LA used to be one of the most colorful cities in the world. No matter where you look, this city is filled with completely different lives happening all at once. Some people are chasing dreams, and others are completely lost. And many people already seem like they're living the life that everyone else wishes that they had. And when you drive through this city every day, you start wondering what kind of person that you want to become yourself. In 2023, I was 23 years old and had just graduated college as an engineer and got my first real 9 to 5 job. A few months after I started my new job, I became more and more familiar with my 9 to 5 life. My life went from carefree late nights with my closest friends to having to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning with an hour commute each way, and I barely had time for a workout at the gym before dinner. I did everything my parents wanted me to do, like 4 years of college with an engineering degree and a stable 9 to 5 so I can secure a house and live a happy life. And I think we all know how that's turning out in this economy. Then I bought my very first car, a Nissan 370Z Nismo. I always wanted a cool manual car that I could modify and drive around with. At the time, I honestly had no idea what my future was supposed to look like. I knew that I loved to work on cars and I wanted something more. The first year into my career, I got my first raise, 10 cents. This gave me a huge wake-up call. Was it worth dedicating my life to a company for decades without appreciation or good pay? I also wanted to start getting into modifying my first manual car. Then I realized I chose probably the most expensive hobby out there. Like $1,000 in this hobby barely got you started on mods. I knew one thing: I didn't want my life to be just commuting to work with no purpose forever. I also wanted to experience the car culture that made LA feel so alive. I wanted to meet more people and see what was out there. But more importantly, I wanted to make more money. And honestly, I wanted to see where the city could take me. So during that time, I started researching anything I could do outside of my 9 to 5 job. I was trying to figure out how people were actually turning their passions into a real lifestyle. That's how I came across making videos. I always liked to create cool content, and I started seeing people making cool car videos on Instagram and YouTube. Eventually, I bought my very first real camera that motivated me to start creating videos, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Honestly, it wasn't some crazy professional setup, but to me back then, it was a ticket into a completely different life. You've probably seen everyone shooting car videos on the road with this little camera, and that's exactly what I did too. Every weekend, I started driving my 370Z around Beverly Hills, one of the richest cities in LA. I had a feeling if I could be around cool cars, I could find my way into that world. I would walk up to random strangers on the road asking, "Can I shoot your car?" Some people said yes, and other people rejected me completely, but I kept filming anyway. I'd go home, learn how to edit the videos, and upload them onto Instagram. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I just felt like maybe if I started something, I wouldn't feel so stuck in life. Then one of my videos with the DJI Mic 2 went viral, which caught DJI's attention. They DM'd me and wanted me to create more videos for them. That was my first real contract with the big company. I even got paid to make videos for them, and they sent me a couple cameras and some camera gear, like these DJI cameras and camera stabilizer. Then came the summer of 2024. That was the year I met Vanessa. She was from Taiwan, and the one thing that connected us was that we both love cars, and we both wanted more out of life. We both loved the feeling of creating something. We loved the idea of building something for ourselves, and of course we both wanted to make money, not just to survive, but to create freedom for us, so we can build a life we could actually be proud of. So together, we used our savings and bought our very first Sony camera. It felt like the biggest investment of our lives. Not because of how expensive it was, but because deep down, it felt like we were finally betting on ourselves. And that's how Luxart was created. It wasn't some huge company. It wasn't even really a business yet. It was just an idea. Two people trying to create something out of passion, with endless late nights and a dream that honestly didn't fully make sense yet. We started shooting cars for people, meeting new friends, and even started getting invited to business events. We even started hosting car meets to gather our local community. We posted content online and more people started reaching out for shoots. And for the first time in a long time, life actually felt exciting. It felt like we were finally becoming part of the car culture we grew up admiring. But at the same time, we also started noticing something sad. The car culture we fell in love with was slowly disappearing. All the crazy stuff started taking over. The takeovers. So many stolen cars, especially Nissans and Infinitis. The state reps targeting modified cars. People doing things for attention instead of passion. And little by little, the real car culture in Los Angeles started fading away. The late night cruises, the genuine builds, the creativity and the community. It just didn't feel the same anymore. There weren't as many cool builds on the streets. People stopped coming out and events started feeling different. Because growing up, car culture never felt like just cars. It felt like a freedom to express your creativity, like a community and a belonging in a group of people with the same hobby and passion. That's why we started filming all of it even more. We were afraid these moments wouldn't exist forever. Over the last 2 years, we've filmed so many cars, met so many people, and created memories I honestly never thought I'd experience this early in life.
I'm glad I'm not alone in this journey. Vanessa has always been there, whether it's learning how to do the things I do or helping me think of new ideas for a video in order to keep Luxart going. And that's really what partnership is, supporting and helping each other, growing together. If I'm struggling, then she's there. If she has an idea, I'll help bring it to life, and that's what we do. And that's why Luxart means so much to us. Maybe right now it's not the biggest brand. Honestly, we're still very small, and most people don't even know who we are. But to us, Luxart is proof that we actually started. It represents all the late nights, all the risks, every client, every failed shoot, every memory, and every dream we were too scared to chase before, because at the end of the day, this is the goal to spend our lives doing something we genuinely love. So I guess what I'm trying to say is pick the things you know you'll always enjoy, the things you can see yourself loving years from now, and keep going, even when nobody understands it yet, even when it feels slow, and when it feels like nothing is happening. But people will eventually see it. I'm always so focused on the next idea that sometimes I have to pause and take a step back to see how far we've come. Because 2 years ago, none of this existed. And now when I look back, I'm just genuinely thankful for everything that happened. Every one of our mistakes, every opportunity, and every person we met along the way. Picking up a camera was the best decision I ever made. This is our story with Luxart, and we're just getting started.
We always look at others and think we aren't good enough. Just because you aren't where you want to be doesn't mean stop trying to work towards your goals. But always look back every once in a while, because look at you, man, you've come a long way. Greatness is a big word and it almost seems too far-fetched, but our greatness started from every little step and every little block, and we're building it brick by brick. Remember that time is limited and the world doesn't stop for anyone. So just keep going, and most importantly, keep it alive.